We're on our shakedown cruise on Belleville Lake. There's the ice over there. Looks like things are performing okay. Got the new amas out there. I guess they're not really new anymore, but seem to be working. Alright, we're good to go. Well, this is the lineup for Everglades Challenge 2020. We're doing a little practice sail here. Pretty windy, 38 baylog sail. We've got it with the extra third reef for the windy conditions. And possible delayed start tomorrow due to the high winds, but it's supposed to calm down, so maybe like a 9 a.m. start. We'll see what happens. But looks like a good wind direction anyhow, if it cooperates. Well, it's 1:30 on Saturday. Finally got started on the Everglades Challenge 2020. We're here at the beginning of Sarasota Bay. It's kind of a long slog through the shallows. We took the eastern route there, but it was shallower than I recall. So we're just passing a few kayakers here, also put in at Anna Maria. Busted rudder in the gang. So, finally off. Well, it's 3:24 on Saturday. We just made it under the bridge at the south end of Sarasota Bay. It wasn't quite the sleigh ride that I hoped it would be down Sarasota Bay. The wind was a little bit more on the nose than I would have liked, but we were still able to sail and paddle, and we've been averaging, overall average, 4.8 to 5 miles an hour so far, so that's pretty good. The wind seems quite a bit less than I had anticipated from what Tampa Bay looked like. But I guess we're making good time. I guess we figured we were about 4 hours behind schedule with the delayed start and then the start down at Anna Maria Bridge. But moving along just fine here in the ICW. Well, it's sunset on Saturday, 6:20 p.m. We're on the approach to Venice Inlet on the inside route. And we've been paddling all day, getting some help from the sail, but still paddling. So it's often a little bit just close to sail, but overall pretty good. We've been able to average close to 5 miles an hour. But it's definitely less windy than I thought it was going to be this morning. So we're hoping maybe to make it to Hogan Key, or maybe further, who knows. we'll see what the night brings. Just coming through Venice at 7:30 p.m. I hope we get to sail on Lemon Bay. It's 9:15 p.m. on Saturday. We're sailing down Lemon Bay, and I'm fixing dinner. Not sailing super fast, but we can go 3 or 4 miles an hour. So I guess that's good for cooking dinner. About 4 hours behind our usual schedule, but still hoping to make it to Hogan Key tonight. It's 10:20. We're near the south end of Lemon Bay. We had our dinner. It was good. And the east wind finally filled in here, and we're enjoying some sailing at 5 or 6 miles an hour without paddling. Although it's lightening up a little bit at the moment, but anyway, pretty good sailing conditions right now under a full moon. It's 1 a.m. We're cruising down Gasparilla Sound in the moonlight. About 5.5 miles an hour without paddling, so that's nice. Probably heading for Hogan Key. Guess there's a chance we could cross Charlotte Harbor tonight if we felt like it might be worse tomorrow, because it's pretty nice now. But we'll see. It's 8:30 a.m. on Hogan Key. We had a nice 4-hour sleep. Yeah, all day today it didn't seem very windy, but now that we're at Charlotte Harbor, it seems pretty windy. It's 8:51 on Sunday. We're just coming out of Hogan Key, and looks like we might have a lucky break here. Looks like the wind is still northeast, and it does not seem terribly strong, so this looks promising for the Charlotte Harbor crossing. So keep your fingers crossed. There's Hogan Key. Well, there's Boca Grande. It's 8:45 on Sunday. Looks like we looked out here. The wind's still from the northeast and pretty mild. So we've got the full sail, and there are a few waves, but no white caps or anything. We were afraid there would be a terrible east wind blowing against the incoming tide, but since it's still from the northeast and pretty mild, looks like we're having a great crossing here and eating breakfast while we go, so this day's off to a good start. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. on Pine Island Sound. We're having a good sail down Pine Island Sound. We can keep it going over 6 miles an hour with just one person paddling. That's good. And we're making progress. It's 12:42 on Sunday. We're here at Chino Island. This is a place that we seem to stop at every time. It's happened before that we've come to the corner here and been faced with a headwind. So we have to go work our way up to Blaney Bell. So I'm hoping we can take some of these channels here and work our way up to here. And then sail across. And then we'll be kind of close. So maybe that'll make the upwind work a little bit easier, but we'll see. It's 1:50 on Sunday. We took the shortcut between York Island and Pine Island to work our way to windward a little bit. Pretty windy now, east wind, so we got to work our way upwind a little bit to get over toward the shore before we set out on the Gulf. So maybe we'll end up paddling into the wind a little bit along this shore before we can get an angle to sail. It's 9 o'clock on Sunday. We are taking the inside route to Wiggins Pass under the full moonlight. Getting a little bit of sailing here from time to time, but it's a windy route. We've never been this way before. We took a beating in the afternoon going from Chino Island right into the 20-knot easterly wind. But on the bright side, it's probably the first time we had a successful upwind sailing experience with this rig. And worked out pretty good, but it did take a while. And so we sailed upwind, backing all the way into Matanzas Pass. And we've been working our way through this inside route here since then. It's nice to be out of the wind. Yeah, I was hoping to sail down the coast today on this east wind, but turned out to be more southeast by the time we got to the coast. So hopefully tomorrow we'll have better luck. It's 12:30 a.m. Sunday. Just arrived at Wiggins Pass. We took the inside route. It was kind of long and meandering, and then there was a contrary tidal current that was pretty strong toward the end, so that was demoralizing, but we had a snack and rallied, and we made it here. And we're camping earlier than last night, so I guess that's good. And we made it here, so that's good, which didn't seem like it was a guarantee. Right now the Gulf looks pretty nice. Hopefully it will be in the morning when we do the Naples Coast. It's 8 a.m. on Monday. We just came out of Wiggins Pass, sailing down the coast on the morning land breeze. Kind of wish we could have gotten out earlier, but we both needed to sleep after battling the terrible east wind all yesterday afternoon. And I'm afraid that the sea breeze is going to pick up again this afternoon. Turn this east wind to southeast. We'll have a repeat of yesterday afternoon. So anyway, we should probably get south while we can, and hope the day goes well.
It's fair, with a temperature of 57 at Brooksville, 57 at Tampa International, 61 at St. Pete Clearwater Airport, and 59 at Orlando. Marine reports along the coast and offshore buoys. At 100 miles west of Bayport, winds will east at 16 knots. Air temperature 65 degrees. At 210 miles west of Copy.
It's 9:17 on Monday. We're just passing Gordon Pass, and we're going to keep going on the Gulf to Marco River. Sailing conditions are still good, so I'm happy about that. Seems like the wind is even a little bit north of east, which was the case yesterday morning too. So the good sailing conditions are holding. We were sometimes hitting 7 miles an hour when we'd surf on there's a little swell coming up behind us, so that was pretty fun. 9 miles to Big Marco. The wind has increased from the east as predicted. Starboard has taken a beating on this trip so far with the east wind. So we had a nice fast sail down the coast, so that was the sleigh ride I was hoping for yesterday that didn't materialize, but we got here before the afternoon sea breeze turned things into a mess here, so that's great. But we'll probably have some upwind work here ahead. It's 2:30 on Monday. We pulled in here after coming through Big Marco River, and we're expecting something of a headwind on Gullivan Bay. I guess we're thinking about that we'll try sailing. We probably can't sail directly there, but maybe with a few tacks. But if that doesn't seem productive, then I guess we'll just pack up the sailing rig and paddle into the wind. So that's what's in our future. Kind of a fun little plant growing on the ground there. There's a house of little pink flowers, see? Nice little flower. Okay, that's all. It's 7:30 p.m. Monday. We're at Camp Luluki. Came in on the backside because it was downwind from the spot where we normally stay. There was a nice couple camping here, watching the Watertribers come through, and he showed us this little channel that comes in behind the oyster bar, so we're hoping we'll be able to get out of that when we go to launch. So we're going to launching at like 1:30 in the morning to try to catch the tide. It'll be trying to catch like the slack high tide just in time so we can get our sleep and still get up there. Going in through Indian Key Pass. So here's hoping that'll work out, and hoping that the east wind is less at 1:30 in the morning than it is now, because it was kind of a bear to deal with. So guess I better fix dinner. There's a little creek here draining this lagoon in the middle of the island. The tide's pretty low, but I guess it's not completely out yet. According to my interpretation of the tide table, it'd be a low tide around 9. So that's what our plan is based on. It's 1:45 Tuesday morning. We're packing up on Camp Lulu Key. Still hoping we can catch a favorable current or slack tide in Indian Key Pass. The water is quite a bit higher than it was. Big tides now with the full moon. It's amazing how much it came up. Hard to imagine that it could come up much higher, so it must be near high tide. So I guess we better hurry and get into Indian Key Pass before it starts running out. Well, we're heading from Camp Lulu Key to Indian Key Pass. It's about 2 in the morning on Tuesday. And I was just telling Lauren, this is one of my favorite things. When you get up early and you catch a surprise land breeze from the north, and instead of slogging into a headwind from the east in the afternoon, you're just flying under the moonlight. So sometimes you get a lucky break. Well, it's 7:10 on Tuesday. Sunrise on the Lopez River. We passed through checkpoint 2. We left Camp Lulu Key around 2 in the morning, and we had a nice sail to Indian Key Pass. A little bit of land breeze in the morning, I think. And then we timed the tide pretty good. We arrived at slack high tide, and we were able to sail down Choco Bay as well, so that was nice. Ate breakfast along the way. Lauren's parents met us at the checkpoint. We filled up on water, got rid of our trash, and then we set off again, heading off into the Everglades. We decided not to stop at the camp office because it was going to take, we'd have to wait like 3 hours or something. So, but we're just going to sleep in our boat, so we don't need a camping permit for that. So, it's going to be, well, we won't be able to use the tent again until Key Largo. And of course we won't use it there either, so I guess we're done with the tent. Should be 1 to 2 nights in the Everglades, maybe just one if we can make it all the way to Flamingo. Not allowed to camp there either, so have to sleep in the boat. And then there's some word of a east wind at 15 knots in the forecast on Florida Bay, so that would be a headwind, but maybe milder than we had in 2016, so that would be nice if it was milder. So anyway, heading off into the Everglades. It's 10:15 on Tuesday. We're heading down to Chevalier Bay. We've got a light breeze that's a good direction for sailing, so that's nice. I think this is the first time we've been able to sail some in the Everglades. We're both getting to be a little bit drowsy and tired, but I guess we'll just keep it moving at a relaxed pace. Time to go in the Nightmare would be like midnight or noon based on the tide, so might end up being noon tomorrow, and there should be plenty of time to get there. And we'll sleep in the boat on the way. Saw some nice birds this morning. A lot of white ibises, some roseate spoonbills, and it's fun to watch the swallowtail kites swoop over the mangroves. And we heard some owls hooting at night. So that's the wildlife update. Just saw some dolphins here. Let's see if they come up again. We had to go upwind on a lot of these bays, but this one is in the right direction to sail. We got a favorable current here. It's running like a river, which is nice because it's helping us with this headwind. I think we're in the upper Lossman's River or something. This is coming into Big Lossman's Bay. So there's a big fetch into the wind here. So guess we'll start pulling. It's 5 p.m. on Tuesday. We tucked into this little bay that's around the corner from the Rogers River Bay Chickie, but not within sight. And I guess this is going to be home for the night. We're going to anchor out here and sleep in the canoe like we did in 2018. We're behind this little mangrove island protecting us from the wind, so we want to have enough wind to keep the mosquitoes away, but not so much as to be annoying. So I think this will do. We formulated a plan for the tide and the Nightmare. Seems like the best times to go in would be around midnight or noon, so we're going to go for the nighttime one, so otherwise we'd have to wait for like 12 hours. and so we can stay here for about 6 hours, get some sleep, and be at the nightmare entrance maybe around 2 a.m. And it should still be a low and rising tide, so it should be a good time to go in. That's the plan. It's 11:20 on Tuesday. We're waking up from sleeping anchored out near Rogers River Bay. Sleep in the boat didn't work out quite as well as it did in 2018 when we slept out in Big Lostman's Bay. The breeze died and then the mosquitoes found us. I guess we weren't far enough away from the mangroves. And I wasn't able to sleep down below in the canoe. I woke up dreaming that I couldn't breathe. And then I had to put the seat back in and then lay on top of stuff, which was better. So I got a little sleep, but it was somewhat interrupted. So anyway, we're going to head toward the nightmare now. And I'll take maybe 3 hours to get there. So, it's going to be like 2:30 or something like that. So we're thinking that might be a decent tide level, and hopefully it'll work out going through there at night. We'll find out. It's 1 a.m. Wednesday. We're just coming into Broad River Bay, and pretty good traveling conditions here at night. We've got a full moon in the sky. I just heard something breathe over there. Maybe there's a dolphin. We've been seeing some dolphins along the way most every day. We've seen several. Pretty fun. So we're heading toward the nightmare entrance. The wind is totally calm now, so great paddling conditions. More later. It's 3 a.m. on the Broad River. We're not getting there as quickly as we had hoped because there's a pretty good current coming in here. I don't know if you can see that, but Lauren's holding on to a log, and I packed up the sailing gear on the canoe there while she was holding on. It was a bit of an ordeal. Took longer than I would have hoped, but I didn't drop anything into the water, so that's good. So I guess we can get back to pulling against this current to get to the nightmare. I think in the past we started in a little bit earlier, and so I've never seen the current quite like this. But also it's a big tide because of the full moon, so that might contribute as well. But anyway, I guess we better get back to it. Well, it's 4:15. We just came into the nightmare entrance a couple hours later than what we had hoped. Tide is very high, and we were just looking to see if there's any current. Looks pretty still. Lauren said she thought she might see some current running out. So it's a lot later than we've come in the past. Ideally we come in just after low tide, but this is pretty much high tide, so guess we'll see how this goes.
This way? No, hang on. Back up. Take 2. We tried there first. Now we're gonna try to slam through here. Of course, I'm taking a movie, so that's not very helpful. Uh-oh. Hang on, stop. We're slowly working our way through the nightmare. It'll be interesting to see just how many spiders we have as stowaways when we're done with this expedition. This is actually much more clear than a lot of the places that we've been through so far. We're really up in the treetops right now. It's been pretty challenging, but that's what we signed up for. It's a challenge. So, we're from Michigan. We don't understand why we were in the treetops just a couple minutes ago, and now we're right in with the roots like it's low tide or something. We figured high tide would be around 6, which it seemed to be on the, where we just were, but what's going on here? Tides are confusing, aren't they, Mark?
I don't know what's going on. Doesn't look like high tide anymore.
Yeah, that's really weird. In any case, we're on the right path.
It's 7:40 a.m. on Wednesday. Sun's just coming up. We made it through the nightmare at night. We had this plan to come in on a rising tide. Didn't totally work out. We had to fight the current all the way down Broad River. And then when we got there, it looked like it was quite high water, like it was already high tide. But then when we were halfway through the nightmare, the water was suddenly very low. And then there were currents going every which way. And we had to go mano a mano with a lot of mangroves. Got pretty muddy in the process. But we made it. So Lauren's about to drift into the mangroves just when she thought she was free from the mangroves. They're still grasping at her with their filthy roots. But anyway,
I don't think we lost anything.
I guess it's another day. We'll try to get to Flamingo. It's 11 a.m. Wednesday. We just turned the corner from Harney River to Shark River. It's kind of a slog up Harney River because the current was against us. And there was also a breeze against us, although it wasn't too strong. But it's getting a little stronger from the east. So I guess we're going to try to set up the sailing rig and sail down Shark River and maybe Oyster Bay too, like we did in 2016. So let's see, here's my class 3 test. let's see how long it takes to set up the rig. 25 minutes. Well, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but did it while Lauren kept the boat moving, so there's that. Nowhere to land around here, except for maybe that mud bank, but you wouldn't really want to get near that. But we got quite a few miles to go down Shark River and maybe across Oyster Bay, so if all that works out, should be worthwhile. Alright, now we're sailing down Shark River. Lauren's mixing up the spills in the bow. We're going 5.6 miles an hour without paddling, so that's awesome. We worked pretty hard going against the current on Broad River, and then through the nightmare currents going everywhere, dragging the boat through the bushes, and then against the current on Hernia River. So we're ready for a break. That's been about 12 hours now since we got up. So time for a spizz break.
Life is good.
It just doesn't get any better than this. Spizz. Alright, 23 minutes. That's the time it took to pack up the sailing rig. It's 2 o'clock Wednesday. Sailing down Whitewater Bay didn't work out, so we packed up the sailing rig and we're just going to paddle into the wind on Whitewater Bay, and seems like the wind's not super strong, so hopefully that'll work out. It's like 12 miles to Flamingo. Another 4 hours or something. I don't know. We'll see. It's pretty hot.
Hot.
We got some spills.
Spizz.
So, guess we'll give it a go. 6:45 Wednesday. We're just arriving at the Buttonwood Canal. We decided to paddle into the wind on Whitewater Bay because the wind didn't look good for sailing down Oyster Bay to Joe River. But then we started out on Whitewater Bay and it was totally calm. And then it lured us in, and then it was all wind on the nose with whitecaps for 10 miles. So I guess that's just the nature of Whitewater Bay, which I knew. But when we started out, I'm telling you, there was no wind. But anyway, here we are, arriving at Flamingo, and we'll decide how long we want to sleep, 2 hours or 4 hours, and then set out on the last leg to Key Largo. It's 3 a.m. Thursday. We're just setting out from Flamingo to cross Florida Bay. We got about 4 hours of sleep by the boat at the checkpoint, and we're lucky this morning. It seems like there's a light land breeze coming from the north, so we decided to set up sail, even though forecast is 10 knots from the east, but that hasn't happened yet, so hopefully we can make some good time here in the early morning hours before the east wind comes in, which will be a headwind. So if all goes well, we could be in Key Largo before noon. That would be exciting. Twisty Mile. Sunrise at Jimmy Channel, 7:30 a.m. We're really lucky with this nice sailing breeze. Can't believe it held out for as long as it has. It's 8:40 on Thursday. We just rounded Manatee Key and we're heading for Bottle Key. And I can't believe our luck with this wind. It's continuing from the north, so we're on a nice beam reach, sailing at 5.3 miles an hour. So we're really lucky this morning. And we're having a great finish so far. Sun's coming up. Got the nice turquoise water of the Keys here. It's 9:19 on Thursday. We're just passing Bottle Key and we're having a great sail here, continuing in the same direction. Hey Lauren, what do you think about this sailing? So I just have a 3.5 mile leg on this near beam reach. And then we'll be in the ICW channel for Key Largo. So that'll be awesome.